A team without a leader is a semi with no driver. 18 wheels careening out of control, rubber and metal, scraping along the mountainside's jagged rock at breakneck speed. The only relief, the final crash. The machine mangled but finally resting, ready for salvage, perhaps even rejuvenation. At some point, it doesn't matter how well the coach leads. Player leadership is as valuable a need as any. In 2006, the Bulldogs were unsure. A young quarterback in Tom Brandstater was unsettled, something that players have said is the biggest change they notice in him. And as coaches have had to stay away from practice this time of year, Brandstater's confidence is noticeable.
Left up to a few players to take a leadership role. So whether that be staying after, making sure everyone's done their work if they missed, do extra running, or doing stuff before we actually work out to go over the film and make sure we have a plan for the day. It's just kind of like a all-inclusive job, but I have to make sure everything runs smoothly. If I'm running things and I have my hand in everything, then I know it's going to get done right, and I'd like to have it go through me so I know it is going to be done.
Defensive lineman Tyler Klutz is a senior this season and says that this offseason team leaders made a conscious effort to teach what being a team leader truly is.
Just taking the game serious and not just showing up, punching in your card and leaving, and guys, wanting to get better. It seemed like last year a little bit, guys would just show up because they had to be there and then collect their check and leave. And it was a challenge to get guys early in spring to be there. A lot of guys responded immediately from last season, and so that made it a little bit easier. But there's always a few guys on the team that you got to keep bringing along and show. And that's what I've learned is you can't just talk either. There was a lot of talking going on last year, and not the actions to back up what they'd say.
Hurt early last season, Ryan Wendell says that some positions are leaders by necessity, while others by choice. But it would seem that the prevailing sentiment from both players and coaches is that accountability has been realized this offseason.
I always say the offensive line, we're really good leaders, and it's just because the fact that we can't hide anywhere. We're the biggest boys. Everybody sees us. So if we dog it, everybody sees it. We're 300 pounds running around, so we have to do a good job. But I think everybody in their unit has picked up what they have to do to be a leader. As far as defense goes, the same way. Everywhere on offense, the wide receivers, running backs, the quarterbacks, everybody knows what they have to do, and you don't really have to tell people. People just get it done.
That being said, leadership means that there is a guy, or perhaps a number of guys, who a coach can count on to help deliver his message, and Pat Hill recognizes who those guys are.
Each position's got a guy. Tyler Klutz with the defensive line, and Haji Lane with the linebackers, along with Marcus Riley, and Damon Jenkins is the only upperclassman in the secondary. The rest are freshmen and first and second year players, so got a lot of young guys, and they got to look to them for leadership. On the offensive side of the ball, on the offensive line, you got Ryan Wendell. The running backs really don't have a senior, but Clifton Smith has really stepped up in that group. The wide receivers, they're all first and second year players. And then quarterback Tommy Brandstater sort of taken that group under his wing along with Bear Pascal. So we've got a really young team. We've got very, very few seniors, but we've got guys that they've got chip on their shoulder. We've got a lot of guys here that have not been here during the good times. They've only been here during the last few games, and they want to reestablish what we are, and I think that's a good thing.
And it's those players like Klutz and Riley who bear the burden of bridging the gap between the pre-USC Bulldogs and those who only know the shock of 4-8. These are the dog days of summer.